All right, what's the word, people? It's your boy Mac, and we back with a Fish Scale official interview. We got my man KT in the building, man. If you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself to the people.
Man, what's good? It's your boy KT, aka Co.Fax Key. uh, Born and raised in, you feel me, Denver. And yeah, shout out to my guy Mac over at Fish Scale, man. Y'all tap in with this one.
I appreciate you, man. First of all, I just want to say thank you for sitting down with us, making a little bit of time. I'm sure you're a busy person, so I just appreciate you making a little bit of time for us to get it in.
I appreciate you too. I'm very respectful of your time. I know you got things going on as well. So thank you for sitting down with me. I'm very appreciative.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. So this isn't the first time you've been on the show, but I don't believe we put the last interview out. So before we get into what you got going now, let's take it back a little bit. So tell the people. I know you just said you was from Denver, but I know you spent a little bit of time in Missouri.
Yeah. So
just tell the people a little bit about like how you came up and shit like that.
yeah, born and raised again in Denver, Colorado. Kind of grew up not even too far from over here, about like probably 5-10 minutes over. Like, yeah, I used to live down the street type shit.
Okay.
But yeah, just growing up there, having the freedom of being a young wild nigga, like I was able to just do whatever because of the access I had. I had I had an older cousin and an older uncle at the time. They were both like the same age, so I wanted to always like be out and do shit at a younger age just because niggas was outside. But I always had like an entrepreneurial mindset. So niggas was outside trying to sell whatever. I remember motherfuckers had like a Kool-Aid stand and shit, like just trying to do weird shit just to make money. Cause that was just my mentality, always hustling. And then got to like 11 out here. Yeah, I was like 11 or 12. I ended up moving to Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
And that experience out there was completely different because I ain't had no family out there. So I got to learn to adapt in this environment, but also learn how to find myself because I didn't know who I was beyond my environment out here.
For sure.
So yeah, I ended up growing and being that. And Missouri actually helped me find myself to who I was, like well, a part of who I am now, like the music I listen to and the shit I do and just what I'm a part of now was really kind of influenced from finding myself in Missouri. So just shout out to everybody that I really encountered with in Missouri.
Most definitely, most definitely. So at what point, at what age did you, excuse me, end up coming back out here?
Came back at like 18, 17, 18. Yeah, it was like 17, 18. I think I was just about to turn 18. And I came back out here. And really it was just from missing family and shit. Like always having to drive 13 hours or
Right.
13 hours this way or 4 hours this way to just like see family and shit. And yeah, that shit get boring. Like when you ain't got no one but your immediate family. And I got a little brother and a little sister.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's all it was. My mom, me, little brother, little sis. And that's all we had to like depend on, along with respectable relationships we built out there as well. But it was just like, nah, fuck it. Let's get back to the roots. And at the time, there was a lot of opportunities that I felt like I could take advantage of out here. So I was like, yeah, let me go. And actually, when I ended up leaving, a lot of shit just kind of like was going downhill in Missouri. Not to say everybody was like going fucking rogue or anything like that, but it was just like, damn, shit was happening once I left. Relationships started falling apart, people started passing away, motherfucking like, I'm like, damn, I missed so much, but
Right.
I like died so much as well just from being in that environment. So, but yeah, I learned a lot, took a lot of L's, figured out a lot of shit out there. So, but when I came back, I just put what I learned from that experience into myself. And I kind of found myself. I was like, oh shit, like, yeah, this is what I'm into, and this is what I like to do. Like, I'm gonna stand on that. I used to be scared, or I used to like want to be in this area, and what these niggas accepted over here, like they stand on. So I gotta be with that, or it's fuck that. Like, let me find my own lane, and oh yeah, this is me. So that's kind of what it was.
For
I'm
sure.
thankful for that experience. Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. You came back more confident in yourself and
Yeah.
just you in general.
Kind of like, yeah. I realized what I did have and what I could potentially use. Like, I ended up writing a lot of music in Missouri. I was interested in photography. I was interested in thrifting. I was listening to other genres of music. I was hanging around different people that I never thought I would hang around. And because of that experience, I've built plenty of relationships that I still have to this day that are solid with people from Missouri. But I also, again, found myself in that moment. And I just took everything that I did over there and just moved it to where I'm from. And the energy was a little better because it's like, yeah, I'm back in the roots. So,
for sure.
Yeah, moved away and I know this area. Yeah, so shit. It was dope.
I got you. So at what point did music come into your life? Like, when did you start making music and start putting shit out?
Man, first time making music, I was like 8. I used to told this story on the last one, but we had this big ass CD player type, like boom box type of fucking thing.
Right.
And you can put like 8 different CDs and shit in there. But one thing that I kind of like figured out was if you put any CD in there, it didn't matter which one. You know, we had bootlegs and a lot of shit like that. So you put any CD in there, it had a headphone jack. And if you put the headphones into the headphone jack just halfway, the music in the headphones was loud enough to only hear the instrumental. Yeah. So I got fucking Chris Brown CDs, Soulja Boy CDs, all this shit that's popping, Lil Wayne, like all these people. And I'm able to just listen to the beat. So I'm in there just like rapping and shit.
Right, and making your own remixes.
Yeah, making like your own remixes. And I remember like making a fucking Reese's Puff remix and like just doing all of this shit.
For sure.
And it wasn't until, because when I was out here, I was kind of like shy to show that. I really didn't have anybody around me that was like rapping, doing music shit. So I was more or less like, damn, how am I going to show this side? You feel me? No one around me really know that I do this shit. I was kind of scared to show it anyway. But I ended up, again, going to Missouri. And I'm in middle school. I'm at Raytown South Middle School. I met up with my guys, Larzell. Man, I'm so down bad not remembering these names right now. But I met a couple cool guys, man. And we just started being at the lunch table rapping like a motherfucker. I remember just making beats at the lunch table. We 13 years old. And motherfuckers is like, bro, you niggas like, yo, we kind of cold. Like, we were just like that. And because of that, we formed like a little group at that time called PG-13. It was corny as fuck, but it was hard. Like, at the same time, at that time, being in middle school, you feel me? You just going through whatever you find interesting. But yeah, I thought that shit was dope as fuck. So we did that, and that's what kind of like brought the music side out of me. Because then at that point, I was around niggas who thought this was cool. Right. Like, I could express it with, even if I fucked up on a line or anything, they just like, oh yeah, I know how that go. Like, but we're gonna keep tapping on this motherfucking table until we got everybody bobbing their fucking head in this bitch. So that's just what it was. And I was always on that type of time. Once I got to Missouri, just started writing. You know, kind of got into high school. And when I got into high school, shout out to my motherfucking guy, man, Markel Childs. That's where y'all can find him at Markel Childs on Instagram and shit like that. But he helped me tremendously find who I was as an artist because he seen the vision in me. He's like, nah, bro, like, you really can write. Like, you really can do this shit. Why don't you? And I'm like, hey, I don't know, like I was just rapping at the lunch tables and shit. Like I didn't know I was gonna say. He's like, nah, nigga, you need to like go to the studio and you need to write your like you need to do this shit. And we ended up having a class together. This was my junior year. This was his senior year, but we had like art elective. It was an art elective, so we had art together. And he was like, man, fuck this art shit. Like, let's write. And we in the back of the class just writing music. And we at the lunch table writing music. Like in junior year, I kind of like fell off from a lot of like bigger crowds. I wasn't around everybody like that. I was really around this nigga because we was just writing music and talking about this shit all day. This was the only nigga I could really relate to at that time.
Sure.
So, yeah, man, shout out to Markel Childs. He really installed that into me. And it was crazy because we ended up having this opportunity to speak to like some Grammy-nominated people in the art class because the teacher was seeing us like always write music, so she made that little connection, caught those people in.
For sure.
And from that, we had the chance to go to like this recording studio and like record with them and different shit like that. And that was just a dope ass opportunity. And unfortunately, like a couple weeks after that, maybe even a week after that, I ended up leaving back to come here. But that's when I was perfecting my shit. And I was like, damn, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that shit was different at that time. But man, shout out to Markel Childs for installing into my mind I could actually fucking do this shit, this music shit.
You think he's still making music?
Yeah, he's still making music to this day. I need to work with him on some shit. I think he's still in Missouri, if I'm not mistaken. But man, shout out to my motherfucking man Markel Childs, bro. If you see this, he had this fire ass song that this motherfucker be deleting shit, and like I know he, you know how SoundCloud was set up where you can only have a certain amount of songs and shit anyway, and shit get old to niggas. But at the same time, he had some crazy shit in high school, like some shit that I really was fucking with, and yeah, bro, like that's what I strive for. Like I was listening to shit like that because I was into a whole bunch of different music in middle school and high school. Of course, middle school, I'm listening to whatever the fuck was like on the radio.
Right.
High school, I'm bumping whatever the fuck. I was really bumping a lot of old school shit, like a lot of old hip hop, a lot of Biggie, a lot of motherfucking Wu-Tang, a lot of motherfucking Raekwon, a lot of like, I was listening to so many different artists, but there was a lot of old school shit, Diggable Planets, and like, I'm listening to anything that I think was hard as fuck. So I'm bumping all of this shit. And then it changed my style.
Right.
It changed everything because I was in that realm now. Like I'm thinking like, oh nigga, I need to be in the 80s, I need to be in the 90s. So I'm going to thrift stores and finding all this vintage shit and coming into school with these baggy ass clothes on, skinny as hell, but with this big ass extra long shirt on because I know I'm never gonna find this piece ever again. Yeah. And you niggas will never find it ever too. So let me just rock that. And yeah, so music was a big inspiration just on doing it as well because my style and what I was doing was, in my eyes, unique. And that's what made me do more of that shit, the inspiration from him and seeing how I could affect some niggas. Like some niggas was listening to my shit like, oh no, I'm not gonna like everything, but that one was hard.
For sure.
And that's all you need to be like, all right.
Yeah, it just takes that one person to believe in yourself. To believe in you, for you to believe in yourself.
Facts.
That's
all it is.
Oh, yeah.
And once you get that inspiration, take that shit. Cause it's almost 8 billion people in the world, man. Get it to the masses to see who likes it. Not everyone will. We understand that. We should all know that by now.
For sure.
But at the same time, attract the people who do. It might be 1 million people out of the 8. But fuck with that 1 million. Do what you can for that 1 million, like. But someone's gonna like your shit.
Sure.
Someone's gonna like your shit. It don't matter what it is. So just put it out there and do it. And once you do it, stick to that shit and never fall off unless niggas is telling you like, hey, that shit ain't it.
Right.
And if it ain't it, it might be time to go venture to something else. But if you really got it in your heart that this is what's for you, stick to that shit, and someone gonna like it. You'd be surprised what motherfuckers like out here.
Right.
Not to say like it's a bad thing, but like you'd be surprised what motherfuckers like out here.
You never know. There's something for everybody.
Yes, for everybody, for sure. Like, no disrespect, but there was a female that sells fucking farts in a jar, my nigga. Like she sells farts in a jar.
Man, get your
and
bag.
It makes money. It does not matter. Someone likes your shit, bro. Someone likes it. Like, come on now. If motherfuckers is buying farts in a jar, bro, then motherfuckers can like whatever music you put out or whatever the fuck. It doesn't matter. Just do that shit.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck? Like, come on now. Excuse my French. I'm sorry, man. But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy, honestly. So I first kind of found out about you because you was affiliated with Dapper Money.
Yeah.
How did that first come about?
Well, I got out of I came back from Missouri. And I'm in high school. I'm doing my last year in high school, so I'm a senior at this point. I wasn't really connected with my mans over the course of the time that I was in Missouri. I was a little distant, so we both just kind of like grew up, and I really forgot about each other because we've been around each other since birth. Like the way that the family was connected, we just been around each other since birth. And after that, after I came back, I was going to Lincoln High School, but there was an alternative school like down in the basement because when I left from Missouri back here, transcript fucked, credits fucked. They did some weird shit to where I had to go there. I had no choice. It was either nigga get your GED or graduate somehow with this.
Right.
And I was like, all right, fuck it. And really, to be honest, I didn't give a fuck about school. If I'm gonna be honest with you, I always wanted some money. I had a job at like 15. Right. I was doing more shit before that, hustling, like cutting grass and doing whatever the fuck I could to make money. That's just how it was. Mm-hmm. But fast forward, I digress. But fast forward, I ended up going to Respect, and we ended up doing like college trips. At the time, my man was in college, so I'm like, I hit him, and I kind of rekindled with him just because I came back and I was seeing what he was doing. And I'm like, oh, that shit's hard. Like, I fuck with that. I supported the first time before I was just like a part of it. Like, I went and bought my own shit from the site just cause. Right. And I went to the college trip. He was out there at CSU, I believe. Or CU, one of them motherfuckers. Yeah, something. And he was out there, and we sat down, and I linked up, and I kind of like just left the group. And I'm like, well, man, and we talking about this shit. And eventually, it just got to the point where it was like, well, shit, you want to do this together? And I'm like, in middle school or like in high school, In high school, I kind of wanted to do my own thing with clothes and different things like that. So why not do it with something that's already established and that, in my opinion, I felt was hard. I thought this shit was dope as fuck. So I'm like, let me be a part of that. So we ended up doing that. And ever since, it was like 2019, me and him was just doing whatever for the brand. And I was kind of on the more social media marketing type of vibe. I was like creating vlogs and different shit like that. And again, started doing music. So that's where the whole Dapper KT thing came from. Of course, part of Dapper Money, it was that, but I like needed another name. So I was like, let me go with the Dapper KT shit. Got into that. And ever since then, it was just up. Like, we were doing our thing. Everybody knew us from doing that, like, just knowing together. And we were motherfucking like two peas in a pod. Like, most of the time, the way it was, you couldn't see him without seeing me. Hey. You couldn't see me without seeing him. Like, it was just like that. So, fast forward to what happened to us, the downfall, was mainly just because, not even gonna lie to you, I'm gonna just be raw as fuck. So anything that you ask me, I'm finna be raw as fuck on. But at the time, financially, shit wasn't really looking up for me. I got shit going on. with my child. Like I'm trying to figure out how. At the time, like I'm trying to figure out how to get my child, get custody of that shit. I'm trying to figure out all this shit that I need to invest in self. I need to still handle bills. I need to still like so on some real shit financially for me. Shit wasn't looking like the greatest, and I didn't express that to him. As a partner, you supposed to talk your shit with your mans. Like that's how it's supposed to be. And he kind of hit me in May, and we haven't spoke since. But he hit me in May and was like, "My nigga, like, what do you want to do? Like, I've been doing basically this shit on my own." He feels like, and I had the title of co-owner in the name, so it feels like, nigga, I shouldn't be doing this alone. And I agree with him on that, cause I took on that, nigga, I gotta stand on that. Like you gotta stand on what you just put yourself in. And at the time, I wasn't standing on it. I was doing what I could as far as like trying to make edits and trying to figure out where I could help out and shit. But I was falling off. And I could see that in myself too. Like, it took a lot of realization that moment. Like, not only was I kind of sick from just like taking myself a part of that, I got a lot of realization from seeing like where I was the fuck up at and where I led shit wrong because I wasn't doing what I needed to do on my end. I wasn't standing on shit. So it kind of made me realize that. But he checked me on it. And he was just like, "Hey, bro, like, what you want to do, my nigga? And I also see you doing this, like, the Co.Fax thing. Like, what do you want to do? Like, I don't know where your mindset is at, my nigga." And he was just confused. And at the time, I was just like, man, I want to focus on the Co.Fax thing because I think it has, like, potential to just give us opportunity over there. But, like, niggas wasn't trying to hear all that. Like, niggas wanted to know if it was a yes or no. Really, that's how it came down to. Like, nigga, is it a yes or no? Like, are you standing with this or are you not standing with this? And I thought about it. I really did. And I had to tell him no, like, I wasn't going to stand on it. And kind of fucked up our relationship. But I've never, to this day, talked down upon that shit, and I never will. Because I understand that really that point, it was really just due to where our heads was at and wanting more. Like that was always our ideology, wanting more. We made a lot of investments and did a lot of shit at times. He made it, especially him, because not only is it his shit, but like he just wanted to move forward with a lot of things. So he made a lot of investments. I made some investments, not as much as him as well. Like, you feel me? Don't get me wrong. I didn't make as much as him. I give him all credit. Like I said, I'm finna be raw with you. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot, but I'm finna just be raw. But because of that, that made us feel like we needed to be in a position of power. And not really in a position of power, but niggas needed to know we trying to be up here.
Right.
Like that's the end goal. That's where everyone wants to be. That's what niggas wanted though. And I felt like we kind of rushed that process of not really enjoying what we've done, already created and shit, but wanting to be bigger and better. And yes, you're gonna always want to be bigger and better, but you don't gotta rush that shit. And due to us rushing, we had a lot of shit that kind of just sat on the side because we ain't had time for it. Like I couldn't, and due to me living out here, I'm like a couple minutes away from over here type shit. But he stayed all the way out in the A, so I gotta like drive there. That's a 30, 40-minute drive every other day, just trying to link up on some shit. And yeah, we can FaceTime and everything, but the craftsmanship is hands-on. Like, you gotta work on that shit. You gotta see what you finna do. You gotta look, you gotta look at materials. You gotta do different things. You gotta smoke one and come up with new creative ideas. Like, that's how it was. So all this shit was just like taking a toll. Like, it was just a lot going on, really. And so, yeah, man, it ended up just like falling out, and I stood on my shit. But yeah, I'll forever give him love, and I understand that this shit was just all due to finances. When niggas is up, I don't give a fuck. Niggas is, I'm taking them with me. Like,
right.
Still to this day, he can feel however he wants to feel. I'm still gonna, nigga, you're still gonna come with me. Whoever sees this shit, let them know. I don't know where we stand right now. You feel me? It's been a little distant, but at the same time, it's all love. It'll forever be love. You're my brother. Nigga, it's like blood. We've been around each other since birth. Like, as babies, nigga. We got baby pictures together. Like that's how real this shit is. This shit is genuine like that. So I'll never discredit the shit that I did, and I stand on what I did. I take full responsibility and I take self accountability of my actions. But I am becoming a better man. I am growing a day wiser, and I know what the fuck I need to stand on. And since then, had a lot of realization that I've been moving forward. I'm so sorry that took so fucking long to talk all about that. But I'm gonna be raw, and I want to reflect off of this in the future. And yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. I mean, sometimes it's hard to come to your man to be like, I'm down bad right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, just
especially
as a man
when
to
your
man.
mentality is
Exactly.
to like, nigga, we're supposed to be up. Like, we're men. And that's like, you know, and at times that can be toxic masculinity. At times it can be. But at the same time, nigga, yeah, we are men. So we are going to have to work. We are going to have to suck shit up at times. We are going to have to get shit done. And though that is a toxic mentality to have, nigga, sometimes it's like that.
Exactly.
So I wasn't doing what I needed to do as a man. Even like, nigga, like, bro, you're a whole man, nigga, you got a child. Like, why aren't you really like in this position to even be like that? And I was just reflecting, like, damn, like, nigga, I don't want to talk about all that right now. Like, I got all these problems and shit that I'm just not talking about. And yeah, we can come to each other for anything. That's my dog. He ain't never gonna steer me wrong. He ain't never gonna talk down on me, nothing like that. So at the same time, I should have had that confidence to be like, hey, nigga, this is what it is. And I can't contribute to that right now at this moment. But let me do what I can to make that happen. I should have been more on that type of time, but I wasn't. So that led, you feel me? That's me fighting the fire inside of not saying nothing, but also realizing, like, nigga, you got to stand on what you already did, though. Right. What you signed up for. And that's just what we respect as men, is just standing on what we signed up for. So.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, you live and you learn though. I bet you wouldn't make the same mistake again.
Fuck no.
Right.
And that's one thing that I've learned moving forward with this, with Co.Fax and shit like that. I've just learned to educate myself before I move forward into anything. And that was one of the biggest problems that I had with being on Dapper Money. Niggas just wanted shit bad and didn't even really like educate ourselves on everything. We just wanted it. And he can vouch for that. Like, niggas made a lot of investments to where we was doing some shit for a little bit, but after like a couple weeks or a month or so, like, nigga, that shit dead. Like, could we do something else? Like, first we started off with just vinyl, like having Cricut vinyl cutters, cutting off the vinyl, having a heat press, heat pressing all of that shit down. It gets to the point where it's like, damn, the vinyl washing off and it's fucking not sticking and it's not like, man, I don't want this to be the representation of my brand, nigga. Fuck that vinyl shit, nigga. We need to get into this. So you buy a screen print head and you buy the ink and you buy the screens and then you really don't do nothing with that motherfucker. And then it's like, well, nigga, no one's even buying screen print shit. Niggas is buying the embroidery, so we need an embroidery machine. And then you get the embroidery machine and like you do all this and you do all that, like, but it's not really giving time to what works.
Right.
And that's what I felt like I was fucking up with. The reason why I'm still recording with this motherfucker right here is because it works right now. But I want you to see the evolution over time. But with education, educating yourself, and that was another big thing. Niggas didn't know nothing about business. Keep it a buck. A lot of people want to be entrepreneurs. This shit is hard as fuck. To learn everything that you have to do to learn the game of this shit is hard. You have to educate. You gotta be the nigga that's watching all these videos. You gotta be the nigga that's reading the financial literacy books. You gotta be the nigga that's going to the seminars. You gotta be the nigga that's out there connecting and doing everything. Like, you have to do that. And you have to educate yourself. Because if not, you just gonna be in this position where it's like, well, fuck, like, yeah, I wanted this, but I ain't want this. No, you didn't know that's what came with it. So of course you didn't want it.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
But if you knew what came with that shit, you would have been like, no, I don't think I don't want to go in that direction. Like, let me try to do something else. But that was another thing that I failed on. I wasn't reading financial literacy books. I didn't know how you can manage your fucking LLC. I didn't know how to build business credit. I didn't know how to do none of this shit that I'm learning the steps to do now.
For sure.
But all of that plays a key part. Like, educating. You have to fucking do that. If you don't, then niggas stay like far, far away from me. If you do not want to educate yourself to be a better individual, because literally all you have to do is be right once, and once you're right once with everything else that you've learned, you can fucking eat off of. Like, look at Shaq. Like, yeah, he made it to the league, but now he owns over fucking 300 brands, like over 50 brands or something. My bad, I don't want to over exaggerate the shit, but it's well over 50 brands, well over 50 different franchises. Like, you just gotta be right once, bro. Look at all these motherfuckers who's just investing in shit. Elon Musk, if you're gonna talk about him, he thought of eBay. He was right once. Sold eBay, got Tesla, got the Boring Company, got all these different investments. You have to be right once. Same with fucking Jeff Bezos. A fucking book. It started off with books. Amazon was just for books, nigga. You couldn't buy none of the shit that you can buy now on Amazon. You could only buy books or maybe a Kindle. But then it went from books to Kindles to Fire Sticks to Amazon Fresh to Amazon this to warehouses to like, what the fuck?
Thanks.
Be right once, bro. But you gotta educate yourself to get there. And once you educate yourself, you can take off like a fucking rocket. That's the biggest problem we have, at least in the black community, is that we're not educated on what we should do when we get to a position of success, or when we get into a better position where we can take that to build success or to build generational wealth. We're not educated. You probably know a nigga right now that's in the hood or somewhere out in this bitch that got tens of thousands, 100,000 stashed in this motherfucker, but that bitch is not generating nothing.
Right.
If that, God forbid, but if that nigga house blew up right then, your shit's gone because you're not figuring out how to make that shit work for you. You didn't educate yourself to the point where, oh, well, maybe I could do this and then do that, and then that shit would, okay, all right, then I wouldn't be stressing off of that shit. But niggas don't be educating themselves. And, don't want to keep talking, but I gotta say this shit. That was one of the reasons why I always wanted to scam. I used to want to scam so fucking bad. Like, I swear to God, I used to stay up and like look at different shit. And I used to educate myself on scamming. Dead ass, I was like,
hacker on the dark web and shit.
Like, no cap. I was really on that. I really like took risks to like see what that was about. Because it's like, how the fuck did this nigga just make 10,000? Oh, he doing, okay, yeah, like I understand it. But how the fuck is he made 10,000 and he ain't did shit with it? Right. You know what niggas could do with 10,000? Oh, nigga, I'm finna buy this camera. I'm finna buy this setup right here. I'm finna get this shit. Like, I was always thinking of it as an investment move. Yeah. I never gave a fuck about what clothes this nigga got on. I don't be outside. You niggas never see me anywhere. I be at home.
Right.
Educating myself, working on videos, trying to put out magazines, trying to do shit. I do need to go to more events. That's something I'll stand on. Like, I do got to go out and be more social and go to more events and shit. So I will be like outside. I think I don't be like, I'm not no fucking club vinyl. I don't even know if that's a fucking thing. I don't even know what the fuck the name of clubs or none of this shit is. I don't be outside, bro. I be at the crib just to myself and educating and just doing me, like figuring out shit. But yeah, essentially, like, that's just the lifestyle, bro. That's what I wanted to do. Like, if I was to scam, I was gonna make that an investment move, and I was just gonna run it the fuck up and make it look legal. No one was gonna know what the fuck. But you feel me? If you playing with that much cash, bro, go and figure out what you really want to do and invest into some shit. Like, no cap. Like, figure out what you want to do, because you niggas is like, this is what y'all consider it. You niggas consider this shit free bands. If it's free bands, take a risk.
Hell yeah.
Don't go get some motherfucker. I don't give a fuck that you punched that Neiman Marcus. I don't give a fuck that you. I don't care that you bought this. You punched that motherfucking Colorado Harvest, or you punched at this, or like, I don't give a fuck what you did, my nigga. I don't care. What did you do to invest in your future to where that shit can be there forever? Because you can never live off of $10,000 for the rest of your fucking life. And these niggas know that, obviously. That's why you keep making plays and shit.
Right.
You keep making plays. But at the same time, where's the legal bread? Like, eventually niggas do get caught up with that shit. So that's why I just always thought it was cool. A little solid way to get your hands in. You feel me? That's a smart ass move, though.
Yeah, I feel like we all had that thought at one point.
Oh, everybody.
Fuck this shit.
Everyone said that motherfucker. Yeah, I need a scam, nigga. I need 50,000 right now. What's that shit they got? Like,
what they say? All
unemployment. I need all of that shit. I need all of it. But yeah, man. You essentially, if you learn the game outside of that, like one of the biggest things now that is, it's not a scam, but it damn near should be. You could really eat off of credit. Like,
fact.
You could really eat off of credit. So if you learn the game of credit, really, you don't even gotta worry about shit. If you know, like I said, learn that game. That's pretty much a scam on its own. I'm using other people's money to buy assets, and the assets are appreciating and making me money, and I'm just repaying the money that I owe back. But essentially, I'm getting a higher credit score and more approvals on higher amounts, and like flight travel and all these benefits that come with 2% cash back and all this. Like, what the fuck? Like, where was that shit at in high school? Like,
hell yeah.
Where the fuck was that at? Them motherfuckers want to tell you about how to pay taxes. I don't give a fuck about the taxes. Like, even that you could avoid if you learn the game.
Right.
So, where the fuck was the credit game at? Like, why wasn't niggas teaching us how to get an 800 credit score? That's what needs to be taught.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
That's the game now.
But if everybody knew, then it wouldn't, having an 800 score wouldn't be nothing.
Facts. It would take a lot of time to be up there. It's pretty much a privilege to be at an 800. But you can still, like, if you know people, you can benefit off of that 800 credit score, like become
authorized user.
Yeah, authorized user on that motherfucking.
Reflection on your credit, yeah.
Help your shit out and like just get your shit right. Like put you on a line. And that essentially can get you up. But we need more shit like that. Like more shit that helps people get up to another level and more education shit. I'm telling you, I implore everyone to educate themselves, man. Not only on just financial literacy, but about self too. Get in tune with who you are as an individual and get in tune with your body and what you want to do. Like, I'm starting to work out more. Niggas can't really see that shit, but I'm trying to get back in that gym and trying to figure out what's good for me. I became like vegan or like have like more of a plant-based diet incorporated into my shit just to like change because I educated myself. Mm-hmm. I used to just be like opposed to certain shit because of what the niggas I was with was saying. Like they said that's a fuck no, then it's like, oh yeah, no, fuck no, yeah, fuck that shit.
Right.
And I got into it with me and I'm like, no, what about that though? Like, what? Okay, oh, that's what it is. Oh, and so yeah, if you ain't like learning about the whole plant-based shit, it's foul what they do to me, and we ain't even gotta get into the whole farming and all that shit. That shit is terrible though. And if you watch what you watch, then it is what it is. But it's a lot of people out here with a I don't give a fuck mentality for a lot of things. Right. And it's crazy because you can tell niggas exactly what something is, and they still would not give a fuck.
Right, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's just what the world is, bro. Like, it's a lot of people that just.
We been knew chicken nuggets is like, what is it, like?
Little baby fucking chicklets, like, you feel me? Little chicklets or whatever the fuck. Just, no one cares. Niggas know that meat can cause cancer. No one gives a fuck. Niggas know, like, all of this shit. Like, we know so much information that we don't give a fuck. Even not even just off of that, niggas, even drugs. Nigga, like, we know some of this shit is what it is, but no one gives a fuck. This nigga still sipping lean, knowing niggas died. This nigga still popping pills, knowing niggas died. This nigga still doing shit, knowing what it causes, and no one gives a fuck.
Right.
It's whatever risk you want to take, but I'd rather risk something else in life than my own life. Like, so that's just how I be looking at shit.
That's a bar for sure. So talk about Co.Fax. We did a lot of background. Talk about what you got going on, man. Where did the idea come from? What is it, and what's next?
So essentially, I had this idea back in I say about 2019. I just had the idea, and really where it stemmed from was me getting back into Colorado and seeing everything that people had to say about what was going on. a lot of people were, because I was a part of Dapper Money at the time, I started being around more artists and more designers and more like photographers. I was more outside and more active. So because of that, I was able to see and connect with so many people and just like had them on my social media and shit. And a lot of people were saying like, man, Colorado be on bullshit. They don't be showing motherfuckers love and da. Like I would see that every so often. But it just kept coming. I'm like, well, what can niggas do to like help with that? Like if this seems to be a problem, what could I do to actually make this shit less of a problem?
For sure.
And I was just like, what if I made a magazine? This me being raw, I really don't fuck with Westworld. Like, they've been in the game for years, so of course they have a lot of leeway, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But they don't really be doing shit. Like,
sure.
No one, I don't know anyone that I do be around that picks up a fucking Westworld. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah,
I've never seen anyone pick up a fucking Westworld unless they were looking at like a dispensary deal or looking at what show might come or what restaurant to get or to eat at or whatever the fuck. No one really picks up no fucking Westworld. No one's picking up no fucking Rooster. And the reason why is because you motherfuckers is not incorporating people like that. People who are saying, hey, nigga, I need recognition. I don't give a fuck how many followers you got. You doing something? Oh, okay, let's talk. And let's talk about all of this. Because I don't know what game he has. I'm trying to learn they say don't be a jack of all trades, but I love that shit. I love being a jack of all trades. I love the fact that I can make music. I can make a beat. Or I could fucking take pictures. And not only take pictures, I could vlog. And not only vlog, I could do interviews. And not only do interviews, I could go into fucking film. And all of these different avenues from just being a jack of all trades. So because of that, that's what niggas want to see. I want to be able to do something for people and still be able to be in line with what the fuck I want to do. Like, if I want to do shit like this, if I want to take photography serious, okay, let me talk to some photographers. If I want to do this, like, you get game from people.
For sure.
And that's the reason why I sit down with motherfuckers. It's like, I want to pick your brain about what you do and how you do it. And oh, damn, that was actually a good idea. Let me incorporate that into my lifestyle and different shit like that. So essentially, that was just the goal of it, was just to create something for people to come onto the platform and to have a voice, but to feel appreciated, because a Facebook post is cool. An Instagram post is okay. But what's tangible? Like, I need something tangible. I want to show off. Like, motherfuckers, when you win an award, like, it's only better when you get the medal.
Right.
When you get the trophy.
For sure.
When you have something tangible to show motherfuckers, like, nigga, this is what I won. Like, you can go to Drake House and see Grammys and BET Awards and all these different shits like that. That's what I want from people. Not only to be like, hey, you see my clothing? Hey, you see my music? Hey, you see my art that I make? Hey, you see this? Not only that, but it'd be like, hey, did you see I was featured in a fucking magazine surrounded by a whole nother great group of fucking individuals going crazy in this bitch? Like, that's the mentality behind it. So tell your story. Come on this bitch. I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, come on here and talk your shit. Yeah, I got some shit in the vault that is finna come soon. Actually, like, it's set up already. I just gotta make it happen. But I got one of my biggest interviews coming up soon, and hopefully that'll lead me into whatever else. But at the same time, I want everyone in this bitch. And that's what I feel like Westworld was doing. They were just trying to get like the hottest people in Colorado and what has the most buzz. Let's talk to them. Like, I don't give a fuck who got the most buzz. Like, let's talk.
For sure.
And let's incorporate your shit and see what you're doing. And let's put in that small event that you throwing on Saturday for the motherfucking, like, let's put that shit in there. Because, yeah, eventually I'm going to wipe out their ass. They have well over 100 employees. They have like 2 different buildings. that I know of. And I think they're like all downtown. But they got more motherfuckers than me, and the ideas that I have are better than them. And I don't want to discredit them. I want to like be able to work with them and pick their brain and like have them as a mentor or like a big sister brand type thing. Like I want to be able to learn the game and shit from being in the company and be or having that franchise for years. Like they've been running the fucking game for years out here. But now it's time for like someone else to do this shit and do it the right way and not be oversaturated with weed and sex and all this irrelevant ass shit, irrelevant ass articles that no one gives a fuck about, showing the same shows. And like, I don't care. I don't care. This doesn't excite niggas. So yeah, that was essentially the idea of that shit, bro. Really was just trying to incorporate some motherfuckers of being here, and I started that back up, and I really haven't been taking it. I've been taking it serious more this year. I started in January. I published my first issue on a website called Issue, ironically, but did that, and then I was kind of following up with it. Was trying to be consistent. Dropped another one in February. Had one planned for March, but I had some life shit going on, so that didn't drop until like June, the third issue. Currently working on the fourth issue, which should have dropped in like fucking July. Like it should have been dropped a long ass time ago, right? But I've been figuring out new ways to implement new shit, because if I'm not, right now at this current stage, if I'm not doing an interview, it's like then there's no creativity going on behind it. Like for you, yeah, if you don't do an interview, that's okay, because I can still do clothing, or I can do something of this nature. Like I can go do a podcast, I could do something else. I still haven't figured out like my segments or new things that I want to implement. Sure. So I've kind of just been like waiting on coming out with new shit. But when I do, I'm gonna try to fuck it up, just to incorporate some new shit and come up with new ideas and see what I can do. But yeah, essentially that's just the goal. With this is to take it to new heights, finally get into printing, figure out how I can actually print, figure out new segments and things like that, so that I can have more content for individuals to see why this platform is worth supporting and worth giving your energy and your time to, because regardless, whoever's watching this at this moment in time, you've just watched however long of an interview. You gave your time to not only your platform, but to just hear my story, or just to hear whatever they wanted from that. And because of that, I want to have more shit that could, you feel me, people can relate to, and people can actually sit down and watch and be entertained by. And it doesn't matter what it is. So that's just been the goal. And that's what's next, is to get into printing so that people can have something tangible, people can feel and like actually want a magazine. I don't know anyone who's like just wanted a magazine besides like, you know, older times, motherfuckers wanted XXL covers. And as certain shit happens, whoever the person is, you know, God forbid, like, but God forbid, but if they like pass away, their credibility is like higher at the point, and so people be seeing shit. It's more sought after shit like that. But I want this shit to be for the people, man. And I want motherfuckers to know, like, we got a lot of talented people out here, and no, you don't just gotta see the A-listers. You can see everyone out here. You know, you don't gotta just look at Russell Wilson and Jokic and all these motherfucking athletes and all these, like, yeah, bro, that's cool, but we got some people underground doing some shit that like really needs to be seen. And it would be way better if we had something like Fish Scale, something like Mile High Minute, something like this that contributed to that, which they do now. Like, we have platforms where niggas is showing you, hey, look over here. Like, this nigga's on fire. Like, I fuck with him. Come tap in. It's the same way with Co.Fax. Like, just be tangible. Have something to get to the people. So when I had that, everybody's gonna be able to benefit from it. Whenever we become bigger from sponsorships and whatever the fuck I end up incorporating into the brand. And there's gonna be a large variety of shit that I'm gonna come up with. I got a crazy ass idea that it's probably gonna have to take more than one person to do, but we've already kind of like talked about it. But I want to incorporate that, and I want to give that, and I don't want to say nothing too much. I don't want to say too much, cause I don't want a motherfucker to see this and try to take some shit. But I would love to work with you on a couple of ideas that I have in the vault. Again, that we kind of already talked about, but it is what it is. We'll make some shit happen. But as far as that goes, man, yeah, just started off a couple years ago, just not taking it serious this year. Best thing that I'm doing now is just educating myself so I can move forward with the brand. Cause it's all about how you gonna get your shit and make your shit look different. Like, there's already someone doing this shit as a 9 to 5. Like, someone lives off of that. So I have to be able to not only work on my shit, work as a family man, like do everything that I can do, being me and shit, but putting all that into business as well and making it look like you're putting in work. Like, doing this shit by yourself is hard as fuck.
True.
It's hard as fuck because you gotta educate, but then you gotta put out shit. You gotta go through trial and error. And you gotta make mistakes and you gotta take risks and you gotta do all of this shit that, so I'm learning from that. And I don't want to rush my shit. I don't want to rush this shit. This shit might take 2-3 years to get to where I want it to be.
For sure.
I don't give a fuck though, because this is what I'm on. And through education, like I said, educate yourself. Go to seminars. Watch videos. Go get a mentor that's already doing that shit. Start tuning in with self and learning that shit so that you can go to a whole nother position. It's the only reason why we're not up is the lack of education. If you educated yourself, you can have anything you want in this fucking world. And now we have access to it because this is fucking everything. This is everything. It's a fucking dictionary. It's a TV. It's everything, bro. You can get anything you want from this shit. Even if you gotta go the dark web way, like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like,
right.
It's available. So yeah,
sure.
That's just the key, man. Just trying to educate myself to go take this further and figure out what we can do to get everybody seen in this bitch.
Oh yeah. Well, that's dope, man. I hope you keep doing your thing, and I'm interested to see what else you got. That's about all the questions I have, though. Is there anything else you want to speak on?
No, because niggas is gonna eventually see us working on some new shit. And yeah, I don't wanna rush anything, and I don't wanna put anything out that I'm not ready to stand on. Like I said, I kind of just want to stand on shit. Sure. But yeah, man. If you have watched through this point all the way over here, because I know I'm like, again, I'm not outside, so a lot of motherfuckers don't really like know me. They just know like that I do. I was a part of Dapper Money, or I'm doing this magazine shit now, but a lot of people don't really know me like that. So if you have watched to this point, I appreciate you. Shout out to fucking Fish Scale. But yeah, man, I hope you take to whoever takes this shit in. Take my advice and run with that shit. Educate yourself, man. That is the biggest fucking thing we need. And not only educate yourself, but take action and move forward and grow and show people what you got in store, whether that be your music, or your clothing, or your food, or your writing skills, or your art. It does not matter. There's a plethora of things that you can do in this world. And if you aren't encouraged by the people around you, get around people that do the things that you love to do. Fight for that. Fight for your happiness. Fight for everything that you want to do. And fucking run the world with whatever you want to do. There's so much things that make people happy. Like, people love certain shit. If you went to a big high school, you will always see different groups of individuals. Like, people love their own shit. Like, but don't be discouraged to understand that realm so that you can relate to them and that you can talk about that shit. But anyway, man, yeah. I just implore everyone to educate themselves, to grow to new heights, to become better individuals. to stay in tune with themselves, to take action, to grow, to understand that it's okay to fuck up, but take self accountability and do your motherfucking thing, man. Move forward and grow, and that's all I got to say for real, man. That's all I got to say. Yeah, I'll do the little outro shit. It's
Oh yeah.
it's your boy Co.Fax Key. That's what I'm gonna start calling myself that now. Co.Fax Key, because the full name Keishaun, man. If you know, you know. But yeah, Co.Fax Key, man. Tap in with me. I got a lot of shit coming in soon. Still thinking of new ways to show off everyone's greatness. Still trying to do things in my own realm and show off my greatness of my abilities and things of that nature. Stay tuned. Hopefully, I'll start making music again. I've been thinking about it. I haven't dropped a song since December of 2021. So yeah, it's been like that, but I want to kind of get back into that. But yeah, man, it's been real. Shout out to motherfucking Fish Scale Media. My guy Mac is going crazy. Support him. Subscribe. Like the video. Share this motherfucker. Put this bitch on TikTok. I don't give a fuck. Like, do something and support and show some love. Go buy some gear. Go do something, man. And yeah, look out for Co.Fax Magazine. You can look up Co.Fax Magazine on everything. Website coming soon. I've been trying to think of that. And yeah, like I said, I don't want to rush shit, but yeah, prints coming soon. New segments coming soon. New ideas and everything is always being implemented. So yeah, man, just be on the lookout and reach out to us on any of those platforms. And you can find us on any platform and reach out to us and schedule an interview or come show support or do something. I don't know. Yeah, just show love. Eventually we'll be at a higher level. So yeah, I appreciate you, my guy. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for letting me talk my shit. I know I talk a lot. Sorry, but I don't really get these opportunities. Like I said, I don't be outside and shit like that. So
All good, bro. I appreciate your time, man. And we'll be on the lookout for some more Co.Fax magazine. And yeah, man, you dropped a lot of game, I think.
I hope I did. I hope someone just takes something from that. Like I don't give a fuck. Someone take something, please. Like just take something that I said and put that shit into your life and move forward. Cause I ain't getting no bullshit out. But it is what it is. Yeah, take that shit around with it, man. But it's been real. It's your boy Co.Fax Key. And we out this motherfucker, man.
It's been another Fish Scale official interview, and we'll catch y'all next time.